Welcome to Search Smarter, Not Harder. Couple things here we're going to learn about. Have you ever run into any of these things? You're working with your buyers and you're setting up searches, and they keep getting these contract pending. They think it's available, but it's not, or wholesale contingency. There is a way to set that up so that you are not pulling those if that's what you need, or your buyer needs a certain type of financing. Where do you search for that? You're searching by maybe you need an elementary school or a middle school or a high school, looking for 55 plus housing. Sometimes that's difficult to find. There's a way to do that. You can set up your format for when you're searching so that it works for how you like to work. You're going to learn how about to do that today. So hopefully we can make your life a little bit easier, make things a little bit faster so you can get doing what you need to be doing, which is showing houses and doing listing appointments so that you can keep doing business. All right. And if I can get my cursor back where it's supposed to be, we'll advance. There we go. Okay, I'd like to introduce to you your GPR MLS team, or remind you who your GPR MLS team is. We are available to you Monday through Friday from 8 to 4:45. You can email us, you can call us, you can text us. Renee Westfall is our MLS data and customer support administrator. So what does that mean? Well, she handles all of our general assistance, data integrity, think accuracy, as well as our expert on data feeds and data vendor access. Think realtor.com, homes.com, Zillow, those types of things. Beth Powers is our MLS compliance administrator. She handles all of our MLS rules compliance, data integrity, that accuracy component, system issues. Gosh, Paragon is not working the way it usually does. That would be the person you want to reach out to, as well as she is our liaison for the MLS users group. If you'd like to learn more about the MLS, how it works, maybe have a voice in some of the rules and things like that, Beth is an excellent person to call to talk about those meetings when they are and the things that they do. Denise Mache is our MLS operations manager. She has been with the MLS for 18 years, so tons of knowledge, tons of experience. She leads our team in the right direction, asks the industry those tough questions, and will not stop until she gets the answers that she needs that we can take back to you so that we can help serve you better, because that is what we're here for. I am JC. I am your MLS trainer. If you did not know that you have a trainer, you definitely do now. My job is to help you guys learn how to use all the Paragon tools and the things that are within them. So that's what we're going to do today. Prior to this, I was an agent just like you. I started my career off 26 years ago, 27 years ago, maybe in Colorado, moved. So I've practiced in Missouri as well as right here in Nebraska. So I think that helps me out a little bit when you're talking with me and talking about the different things that you're doing with your clients and how do I get that information out of the MLS. So because I've been there. So I think it just helps me out a little bit, which ultimately helps you guys. So with that, don't forget, you can reach us Monday through Friday, 8 to 4:45, email, text, or call. And guys, if you didn't get a return message back from us within 24 hours and it's not a weekend or a holiday, please reach back out to us because it means we didn't get your message. Doesn't happen very often, but if it does happen, please reach out and give us a chance to help you out. All right, so today we're going to learn how to do different searches, how to set up safe searches, how to set your search criteria, your default MLS searching for you. You're not stuck with the one that the MLS that is provided to us from Paragon. You can customize that. And we're going to be bouncing around between Paragon Connect and Paragon Professional. Now, if that just confused some of you, let me explain something. Paragon Connect and Paragon Professional are the same MLS. They're just built on different platforms. And here's why. Paragon Professional is a little bit more robust. If you've been with the MLS for a long time, been an agent for a long time, that may be the one that you're most familiar with. It's what I call the more robust version of the MLS. But if you try to use it on this thing, this mobile device that we carry around everywhere we go, it's kind of clunky and it doesn't play very nice. So Paragon came out with Paragon Connect. You can use that on your computer if you want to, but better yet, you can take it where you go. So on your phone, on your tablet, on your laptop, your desktop, wherever it is you go, the MLS is right there with you. So they're both the same MLS. What you do in one, you're going to see in the other. And that makes it just really awesome because how many times have you been out and about and you need to look something up in the MLS? Paragon Connect will make that very easy for you. So let us talk about customizing your search for how you actually work. You can customize your search criteria to quickly locate. I don't know. I used to get asked a lot about, I want a main floor laundry. And I'll tell you what, as an agent, I searched forever in my little form. How do I look that up? And I went through a lot of stuff trying to figure that out because I did not know when I was an agent that I could customize and there was a field for that. Primary bedrooms or bathrooms, how many clients have to have one of those items? Or you're searching for land and you want to know, is it builder committed lots or not? That contract pending or home sale contingency thing that we were talking about, that also. So we are going to skip right on into Paragon right now. And I'm going to show you how to do that. So right now you're looking at Paragon Connect on my computer. And let me just adjust a couple of things here so I can see all the things that I need to see. There we go. And then over here is Paragon Professional. Now, when you log in, whether you log into Paragon Professional or Paragon Connect, you can access the other one. We're going to start right here in Paragon Professional, and across the top, you've got your different icons. And the one at the very end here, that one is for Paragon Connect. So if you click on Paragon Connect, voila, you're there. And now you can access that from your desktop. If you're in Paragon Connect and you need to get into Paragon Professional and you didn't leave your tabs open like I just did, or maybe you logged directly into Paragon Connect. If you go to the main menu here, these three little lines up here at the top, just scroll on down after you click on it, you'll find Paragon Professional, and now you have your tab open for that. So what you do in one, you'll see in the other. I will warn you, however, if you have both tabs open like I have on my computer and you bounce around doing a lot of different things in each one, it may get a little upset with you. So you may have to clear your cache or log out and log back in. That happens to me a lot simply because I'm bouncing between the two. So if it happens to you, don't panic, log out or clear your cache, log back in, and you should be good. Okay, so let's see about that search form. So when I'm doing, we're just going to play in the residential search here. So I went up to search and I'm going to go to the residential search, and you will see with mine right here at the top where it says primary criteria, it says JC's default search. Well, what that means is I've already changed mine. Okay, so my search form here looks different than probably yours. And you'll see that I even have an extra container. Let's talk about what the containers are first. You are provided with three different containers. You have the primary criteria, your secondary criteria, and advanced. Each one of those has information that has been set up that you can customize. You can add containers if you want to. You can get rid of the ones you don't want. Here with this extra one I have that I created is school. You're not going to be able to get rid of this primary one, however, so just know that. It has different fields in here. All of these things in here are called fields. All right. So I'm going to show you what the MLS one probably looks like because I saved that. So I'm going to go to my saved searches. And I'm going to look up the MLS default because this is probably what you're looking at. And you'll notice that things are just a little bit different. I don't know about you, but I never use these other room names. So I got rid of those. And the way that you're going to get rid of those is like this. Whenever you see this wonderful little gear here, it means you can customize. You can customize your containers or you can customize your fields. So when you customize your fields, you can add from over here. These are the ones that are available to you, and these are the ones that you currently have. Where you want to put them or how you want to see them is right here with the container thing. You have primary, secondary, and advanced. You can change that out as you're going. But I am wanting to get rid of these other rooms. So what I'm going to do is go over here to my selected fields and the primary criteria, and I'm just going to put a little checkbox in here. And I'm just going to get rid of three of them. I'll leave room number one and room number two there just so that I have it. And I'm going to put a check in the checkbox, click remove. And now they've gone back over here to available fields because I'm not going to use them, but they're gone from here. And I can click apply. Now, if I know that I want this to be saved, I could do an apply save as and then rename it, just like you saw for the JC's MLS search. So if you do that, you click apply save as, and it's going to ask you, do you want to, name it? And then you would name it. And in this case, I would name this for me, JC's default search. I would say save those criteria and then set as my default residential search. You're not going to have that top one, but just use this one right here, the second one. And then once you click that and click save, it will save it for you in your saved searches. So I'm going to show you where you can now find that. If you checked the box to save it as your default search, it will come up every time you go into the residential search. And it'll have the name of that search right here, right there at the top. You can customize other things. I like to have my map at the very top. I'd like to add the primary bedrooms, and I want it looks like I've already moved my laundry room up there. You can do the same thing. Now, what does that look like in Paragon Connect? I almost said professional, and I knew that wasn't right because I'm there. Okay, so I'm going to go clicking on my tab right here. But if you haven't opened that, you're going to want to go to your icons across the top and pick this one at the very end that says Connect. And it will take you here. Yours may look a little different than mine. I've customized mine and how I want to see it. You can do that too. You can do that by right here is where you would click. Just in case you were wondering if you wanted to customize, how do I do that? Well, you would click there and then follow from there. But we're going to talk about how to change our search form in Paragon Connect. So I'm going to go right here to that main menu, the 3 lines. I'm going to go to search properties. And then I need to choose my class. So I'm going to choose on residential for now. And it is taking me to my default. And you will see that I have that wonderful little gear thing here, as well as all my fields. Now, it does look like I added my laundry room level. And to add, I'd like to have a primary bedroom field in here. So to do that, I am going to go right up here to my customize primary criteria, click on it. And then there is a plus button right here. And when I click on the plus button, it's going to ask me, do you want to add new fields or a new container? I'm going to add a new field. And I'm going to search for that primary bedroom. And I'm just going to begin by typing it in so that I can see it. And it has primary bedroom size. So I'm guessing that I may have the primary bedroom in there already, and I just overlooked it. But if you are following me as you go, you're going to see that primary bedroom level. You can click on the box, and then it will ask you, where do you want to put it? Do you want it in your primary criteria or in your secondary or your advanced? I put mine in my primary criteria, and then click add, and it will add it to the very bottom. Yep. And there's that primary bedroom. It looks like I added it previously along with primary bath. So I can just grab these where I want by clicking on it over here over those lines and then dragging it up to where I want to see it. And since this is the primary bedroom level, I'm just going to add it. I want it right there with bedrooms. Then I'm going to go back and grab my primary bathroom that I had added. And I'm going to put that right there next to bathrooms. Then I'm going to go grab this primary bedroom size that I added with you and drag that up and put it with the bedrooms. And I want it right under that primary bedroom level. Now, you guys might want to have yours somewhere else, and that's totally fine. You can do that however you want to do it. But make sure that after you've done that, you click save, or it is not going to save it. And now you will see in my search form here that I now have primary bedroom level, primary bedroom size, my bedrooms, primary bathroom is right there. Now, let's say that I want to add a schools container. And before I do that, I've opened it. I already have it there. So let's see. So let's go to customize fields. All right, customize field. I want to add, and it's going to ask me, do I want to add new fields or add new containers? I'm going to add a container, and then I'm going to call it a name. I'm going to call it schools in this case and click add. And now I can edit that or I can delete it, but I want to put apply. And now I've got the schools field. Now I want to put some fields in there. So I'm going to click on add and add new fields. And then I'm going to just I'm going to start typing in schools. because I want to add all three of these. There we go. So I want to add grade school, and it's asking me where do I want to put it, which criteria. I want it in my school's container. And then I want to add high school and junior high. And I also want that to be in my school's container. So I checked that box and I'm going to click add. But I want that in a different order. I don't want it grade school, high school, and junior high. I want that junior high school, also known as middle school, to be in the middle between grade school and high school, because in my mind, that makes sense to me. So all I did was grab it like this with my mouse, clicked and hold, and then just grab it to where and pull it to where you want, and then click save. So now you will see that I have a schools container. So now if I have somebody who's asking me for a particular, they need to be in a neighborhood that this XYZ school is in it, I can just go to my schools here, go to whichever field it is that I need and add that. Okay, we've got a question here and see if I can answer it. On Paragon Pro, sometimes I cannot find a field option for what I'm looking to add in my search. Is there not a field for everything we input? One example is basement type for walkout. You know, that is a great question, and I'm glad that you asked because the very next thing that I was going to talk about applies to that. How do you know? Is it a field or is it a feature? That is the two things that we get a lot. So let's just go ahead and jump into there. And I'm going to go back over here. So how do I know that? Well, one of the things that I want to talk about is the input forms. Okay. Residential being the one that everybody most commonly uses. Those input forms have in it every field and every feature that is available to you in the MLS for the particular class that you're working with. So it's not only a great thing to fill out when you're a listing agent so that you get all the things that you need to input into the MLS about your property, but it is a great cheat sheet. And I would love to say that I came up with that idea all by my little self, but I didn't. It was one of the very first things that Denise told me about when I first started here as a trainer for 3 years ago. It's a cheat sheet, guys. It has all of the available fields on it and features that you could ever need to search by in the MLS, because oftentimes we will call something one thing, but it's really called something else in the MLS that happens. So where can I find that form? Well, if you're in Paragon Pro, you can go to MLS Docs, which is right up here on the left-hand side, right next to where your name is. And you can click on MLS Docs, click on the forms and docs, and then your docs here. And it's going to pull this up for you, or it does for me. And these are the links for your forms and docs. As a GPR MLS participant or subscriber, you have access to all three of these: the GPR MLS forms, OABR forms, and RAL forms. You can use any of them just so long as your broker is good with that. For the input forms, you're going to find them at GPR MLS forms. You'll click on that link, but if you've not gotten in there before, you're going to need these usernames and passwords because it's going to ask you for it, and you've got it right here. So if it was me, I'd print that so that I have it at my desk and I'm not searching for it when I need it or whatever works best for you. But I'm going to go ahead and click on that link, and it's going to say, do I want to open it? And I'm going to say, yep, I do. And then it takes me here. Yes, you can also go to gprmls.com/forms, and you will find all the stuff right here. And then I'm just going to go to input forms and click on residential input form. This document, guys, is, I believe, 6 pages long. Yep, 6 pages long, with the last 2 pages being nothing but features. That is a lot of features, and they are divided up by, you'll have all the appliances with appliances, interior features, exterior features. It's just a really handy thing to have at your fingertips so you can figure out what it is you're looking for. In answer to your question, how do I know what it's called? This would be a great place to start to figure out, is it a field, which means you're not going to find it in that feature spot. It's going to be up here somewhere. Or is it a feature, and what do we call it? So just a tip. And close that, and go here, back here, and you are looking for walkout basement. So I'm in my residential search, and I want to find the residential basement. Let me look back on here, and walkout basement, for example. Okay, so we need a walkout basement. I'm going to click on my Control F to find walkout basement on my residential form and see what comes up. Basement type, walkout tells me it's number 4. Where am I at? I'm in the general. So this is going to be, I think, a field, but at least I know what it's called. So I can go back to Paragon and look up basement, which is right here in my field, and click on the search bar thing here, and it will tell me yes or no. So that's not the one I'm looking for. So if I go to my features, which I think I accidentally got rid of my container, which I didn't mean to do. So I'm going to go back to my saved property searches, find the MLS default, and there it is. So my secondary criteria is right here and in features. Now you can start typing that stuff in here if you want, if it needs to. And it will say it's giving me closets, all kinds of things. Or I can click on the little magnifying glass here where it brings up features and I can search this way if I want to. And I can find it that way. But the only other thing I want to say, because that was number 4 in there, basement, that was yes or no, right? Yep. I'm going to continue to go here. So basement. Yep. Oh,
You want me to jump in here, JC?
I do. I was checking
I
my.
just messaged you. So it is a feature. Sometimes because we ask like if a house has a garage, you'll say yes or no on the input form. Some of the feature sections are under whatever field it makes sense. So just go to features, go ahead and cancel there, JC, because it's a real pain searching that way. Sometimes you have to start when you typed walk, it's going to show you the first 10 things that have
Yeah.
walk. Just go a little further and type the O for walk out. So just do WALKO, and there it is.
All right. So there you go. Thank you for the save, Denise.
You're welcome. It's a little strange because it used to
It
be that
is.
all the features used to always be on those last 2 pages, but like it made more sense if you're going to say it has a basement, yes, to not have to go all the way to the last room to find basement type. So they're
Mhm.
kind of some of the features are mixed in.
And when I'm looking for walkout basement, I do that every single time. So you'd think I'd remember it, but I didn't. And so Denise saved me there. So that was
Well,
what you would
and
find that.
for some people on this call, they remember when walkout was a yes, no field, and they still really miss that. But it's for RESO standards, we had to move it under the feature, the features. The
Ah,
standards were required nationally to adhere by them. Yeah,
okay.
that's one we get a lot. We get that question a lot. So I will go
Okay.
ahead and mute myself.
All right. Thank you. So that is how you would find walkout is right here in that secondary criteria. The other thing I think I was talking about was the 55 plus piece, which is going to be up here. And that is going to be a field, but I'm going to show you how to find it in Paragon Connect just so that you have the two. So we're going to go to my save searches so that I can get my MLS one since I accidentally deleted my 2 containers. And I am looking for, here's my customization. Here it is. The customization. I'm going to click on that and click add a new field. And I'm going to search for 55. I could have called it 55 plus, or I could have called it senior living. Click the button, tell it where I want it, click add. It is now at the bottom of that first criteria. And I'm just going to grab it and put it where I want. And I think I'm going to put it, oh, right there. I would click apply. And now I have my senior living and I can click on here and say, yes, I need it or not at all if I needed to search for that. And that would help me find those. Okay. So features versus fields. All right. So let's go ahead and we talked about the residential input form being a cheat sheet, but let's also talk about how to find things by map search. So there's a couple of different ways that you can do that. how many of you have worked an open house where somebody's come in and they've asked about a different house in that neighborhood, or your just came out of a showing with your client and they said, I think we want to make an offer. What are houses in this neighborhood going for? You can look right there. The easiest way to do that is because you're at the property is going to be using Paragon Connect. So that is where we're going to do that. We're going to close that one. Paragon Connect. Okay. And when you're on your dashboard screen, you've got your exploration bar here that you could just put in an address or whatever it is you're looking for, or you can utilize this near me search button right here. And that's what I'm going to click on. And it's going to use location to get to you just so you can find stuff. So it will fit to conformation to whatever screen you have. So if you're on a tablet, it's going to show you what you can see on your tablet screen. If you're on a computer, it's going to show you what you can see there. On your phone, it does the same thing. So there's a couple of different things you can do here on the map that I do want to point out to you guys. First being that you've got a boundary thing here, which is again going to help you. Do you want to see your whole everything, or do you want to see what's just on your screen? You have a layers map as well, which then allows you, let me move this, which allows you to turn on the different layers. Do you want to see the postal codes or see things by city or county? Or this one is really helpful. Floodplain. It will show you floodplains on here when you turn that on. So if I were to do that, right over here, I'm going to see that there's the floodplain. It is showing me. And let's just say I had a person looking at a property here and they did not want to be in a floodplain. I can look and see, and let's just pretend that this particular property here that's we're looking at is for sale. And we just walk through it and it's showing me that it's in somewhat of a flood zone. So that could be very helpful. These tags that you see, these are properties that are for sale. So let's say I was at that open house and let's say that I was at a different property here and they were asking me about it. By using that near me search, it's going to bring up all the properties that are available. The green tags indicates for sale. But let's say I want to see more than sale. Maybe they saw one and it says pending or something on it. You can do that by clicking on your filter and it brings up your search bar. And I'm going to go to my status and click up just everything there. And then it brings me all the different statuses and I can click on pending. If I wanted to see a sold, I could do that as well. Once you've made your choice, you click apply. And you'll need to click apply again. If you don't, it's not going to work right. I do that a lot because I get click happy. And right there is a pending property. And let's just pretend that's the one they were looking at. I can just click on it and it brings up all of the information, pictures. We could stand there and look at it on my phone, or I can say, I can send that to you. And look, there's a little share button. And if I click on that share button, I now can text it, email, copy the link and text it, whatever. But if you text it, what do you need? You need a phone number. You just got a phone number. You can pull them from your contacts or you can add them, which is what I would do. And now you can set that up. You can send that as a text. So there's that. Okay, so I'm going to go back. You also have your legend over here. You have your different road views that you can see. This is pulling from Google Maps, so that it's going to work very much the same as that is. You can look at the road or a satellite view, or maybe the terrain is important to your client. So you can just by clicking on any of those, it will show you what's what. I'm going to go back to road because that's the one I like. And then there's this little tax button here. And that tax button is it allows you to be able to see the public records or the assessor for all of the properties, not just the properties that are for sale, but you have to turn it on. So this indicates that button is off. So I'm going to click on it and now it's shown up as a color. And oh my goodness, I will tell you that if you're not zoomed in enough, you're not going to see this. You'll get a message that says tax search becomes available as you zoom. So when I zoom back in a little bit and give it a minute, now that information is showing. And this is pulling again, like I said, from your public records. So if I wanted to see, let's say I'm sitting here at this property and maybe I listed this property and I'm doing the open house there, and I'm thinking about door knocking, or maybe one of the neighbors came over and they're interested in selling, and so you want to see a little bit more about that property. Let's just say it's this one across the street. It says it's 3 OK is what the public assessor is showing. But if I click on that, I now have access to the public records on this property. And it gives me some of this information that I may or may not need. It gives me the map view, all of the things. So it's giving you a little bit more information that you can utilize where you are there. Okay, I have covered a lot of information. So I'm just going to stop real quickly and find out if anybody has any questions so that I can take that opportunity to answer them. You can unmute yourself if you want to, or you can put it in the chat.
JC, this is
No.
Donna.
Hi, Donna.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good. So I'm brand new agent, and I think one of the things that I'd like to learn too is there a way to do like a radius map search? If they say that I want to live within 3 miles of this school, how do you do
Mhm.
that?
That's a great question. So, how do you do that? I'm still in my map search and I have not covered these tools over here. Again, these work a lot like your Google tools. So, I have a search bar here that I could click on. And then, if I'm looking for a specific address, I could type that in and then it's going to drop a pin and then I could see it. Or I can say drawing tools. I would click on those drawing tools, and the choices I have are freehand draw, polygon, rectangle, or radius. So let's say that they wanted, I clicked on here. I did not mean to click on there. So how do I get rid of it now? You can see I can draw multiple radiuses, and you'll see that it's giving me about how far out I would be. What I was going to try to do is scroll till I found a school and then show you how to do that around the school. But I think you get the gist of what it is that I was trying to do here. If any properties were available in that area, they'd be popping up. But I could also fine tune that search by clicking on that filter over here, and it brings up my search criteria in which I could then go through and narrow it down even further.
And that's where you can get rid of the radius too, or you just went to JC.
Yep, you can. Right here, you just are
Yeah.
going to go right there, search by map, and just click out of it, just exit out. And when you click apply, hold on, there we go. My Zoom controls popped up in my way. Sorry about that. And then it allows you to start it all over again. And this one, it brought me way out, so I would have to just zoom back in. Donna, did that answer your question?
Sorry, yeah, I was on mute. Yes, it does. It would be
Great.
really nice to be able to be like, I noticed that you didn't see the radius distance until after you had already drawn your circle. So is there a way to go back in and edit it so it's like more specific to the radius you're looking for? Like 3 miles, that's exactly what the radius needs to be. Can you go in and edit that radius search to be exactly 3 miles?
You can.
Okay.
You can. Hold on. Okay. So let's say, yeah, my mouse. There we go. I'm just going to go into a neighborhood. This is just a neighborhood and address I know well. So let's click into that. And I'm going to, right here is a school. And I want to draw my radius. And normally I like a paragon, but you're right. People sometimes say they want to live within a certain amount. So the radius at that point would make sense. So you've got your little plus here. And then I would just click on the school and draw and pull it out until I get it where I want it. And this is not quite the 3 miles, but that is what it is. But I want to edit that. Okay. So first, I need to get rid of this thing out of my way and go back into that filter. And you could exit out like I showed you. Or No, not that one. No, not that one. There you go. I'm going to apologize in advance. In this corner on my screen, I don't know if you can see it. I've got a little thing here in the way, but underneath that on your map thing is the very first one there allows you, if you click on it, to manage your shapes. And that is where you're going to click so that you can change it. And when I clicked on it, you'll saw the manage shapes box came up. It brought up the radius that I have, and I can exclude it, I could delete it, or I could edit. And then I could take it out even bigger or smaller, whatever it was that I needed to do, and click apply. And there you have it. So right over here is what you would click. It brings up your controls. And on this one, I'm going to delete it. Okay. So I had a question in the chat and it says that they assist another agent and use their assume identity to access the MLS. If I change the fields, will it impact what his MLS search? If I change the fields, will it remain? It will save the fields if you click the save and save as. If you're just using it for that individual search, when you click apply, it's just going to be there for you. And then another question I have is, can I save the searches so they notify me when one fits the criteria? And if so, I also assume the identity of my agents I work for would like that. Yes, yes, you can. And we are going to be talking about save searches here in just a second. And I'm going to show you how you do that. All right. So I'm going to go back to my main dashboard in Paragon Connect. Or if I was in Paragon Professional, I would just come back here to home. And we're going to talk about safe searches. Now, some of you may be familiar with saved auto searches for your buyers who are looking for safe searches, or this might be a new thing. You can set up a safe search for your buyers and set them up on auto. You can use them in conjunction with the Collab Center, which, by the way, is a class I'm giving in April on the Collab Center, so that you can use that for your buyers and for your sellers and utilize that more. But we're going to set up a saved search. Looks like I have one question in here that I may have missed. Yep, we're going to use both because we do have agents that you're using both. So I want to set up a safe search. If I'm saving, I'm just going to go right in here into residential, and I'm going to set up the criteria that I'm looking for. And I want actives. Now, when you set up a auto search, you can't have the coming soon, no showings, or the hold no showings in there, because you're going to get an error message if you do, because those don't feed out to those third-party websites. So they won't allow you to save it for an auto search. But I'm going to choose the ones that I want and click save. And then I'm going to put in the additional criteria. And I start with price range because that's usually pretty important to a buyer. And I'm going to put in here that they want 3 bedrooms and they want 2 bathrooms and they want 2 garages. And you'll notice that my number is going down here, 97. That's still a lot of properties I don't want to send to somebody. I could put in lots of different information in here. In this one, I'm going to go ahead and put the town. Do that. And now I've got 16. So I might stop with that. It might be a little too broad, but for today's class, and just so I can show you how to set up a search, I'm going to leave it at 16. Now, one other thing you want to check is your listing visibility type. You still have no show in here. You've got to get rid of that because we're doing a saved search. All right. And again, those saved searches for auto aren't going to let you have the no showing ones in there. So then I go up to my save button and I can save it as a new search. It works just like when you're working on Word. You do a save as, and then you name it. And I'm just gonna, so I remember what this is, name it for class, and then save those criteria. And I could assign it to a contact if I wanted to. And let's say that contact was already in my contacts. I could click here for my magnifying glass where it would pick up all of my contacts. I could choose the contact I wanted by just clicking the box and click save. Or let's say I haven't put them in there yet. I could add them by clicking that plus button. And when I'm in Paragon Connect, I have to have a first name and a last name. And I'd want to have an email to put in here so that it will email that out and I would click save. Then it's going to ask me, do I want to save and notify them that they are going to get this for the Collab Center, or just click save? And now it has saved it. You will find that search if you were to go into your search up at the top and then go to your saved property searches. You'll find it here. You can scroll, as you'll see at the very bottom, page 1 of 2. So I could scroll until I found it, or I could find it by typing in what I named it. And I can't remember what I named it. Oh yeah, I did the date. There it is. And I spelled out March. So now I've got my safe search here. Now, why would I want to do a safe search other than for my clients for auto emails? If I am always searching for the same types of things or the same thing, I would want to have a safe search set up so that I didn't have to reinvent the wheel. I wouldn't have to put in all the different criteria. I could just set up that safe search. And then when I want to run it, go to my safe searches and find it, and then I can run it. Okay. If I'm in Paragon Connect, to find those, I could have my safe searches right here on my dashboard, or I can go to the search properties and then go to my safe searches, where it will show me all of my safe searches. I can look for it by clicking on the search magnifying glass up there and putting in the name of it, which it will bring that up. And then I can just run it. Or if I wanted to start this as my basic and then click edit to add stuff or even take stuff out, I could do that. Or let's say that I want to filter these by, I just want to see, I don't want to see all of them. I just want to see mine. I would click my searches and click on, let me do that again. So I have assigned to all my searches or assigned to a contact. The class allows me to pick the type of search that I want to, that I set up. I want my searches, and I would click apply. And then it brings up all of my safe searches that I have set up rather than every safe search that is in there for my clients. For me, the ones that my clients have set up, it differentiates for me. Okay. Couple things for safe searches. Not only does it save you time when you're super busy, you've been all over, you've had appointments all day, you've had some agent activities that you've been doing, whether that's showing properties or listing appointments, or maybe you are active in your association, those types of things. You could just go to that safe search and run it. If you've got a listing in a neighborhood, you might want to have a safe search set up for that listing to let you know what's happening in that area. You can run it for your pendings, your coming soons, anything new that came in, all of those different things. You could just go to that safe search, run it, and then you've got that. A buyer that you're working with and things are, I mean, they're really close. They want to buy yesterday. Okay. You can have their safe search in there. And rather than input all the stuff all the time, you just go to their safe search and you run it. So if you're using a safe search, you've used it a couple of times and you've been building it every time, you might consider making it a safe search so that you can save yourself that time of putting all that information in there. So there's just a few things there. And then let's see. The other thing I wanted to talk about is Hotsheets. Hotsheets allow you to know what is happening in the market from the last time that you set up a search. And you can run that. It works a lot like a safe search, but not quite as fine tuned. But if you run it and you're looking in there, and you can set it up to do a certain date, or you could set it up for the last time that you ran it. And it's just a really quick, easy way that you can keep on top of what's happening in in the MLS. Okay. When you're inputting your new listing, or you make a change to your listing, when you click save, it oftentimes will ask you, do you want to add this to the hot sheet list? A lot of us don't even know what that is. So hang on, I got a couple of questions here in the chat. If I update a search, is there a way to overwrite the original search? What occurs as a search with the same name? So, okay, so it's not going to let you, it's just like when you're naming something in Word, it's not going to let you name it the same thing as you have for another search. To save over a search, I'm just going to go to my save search properties and I'm just going to pick one. And let's say I'm going to change this price range. And now I want to save this to be that search. All I do is click the save search button, and then I've got two options, save as or save search. Save search works just like it does in Word. It saves over. Save as saves it as a new one and gives me all that naming stuff. So to change this one permanently, I would just say save search. It's going to bring that up. I'm just going to save right over it. So you've got that. And then now do I have to run a search every day when I'm looking at specific, or as they automatically notify you? You could set that. I am going to go back to Hotsheet. I just wanted to make sure I answered the questions before I switch subjects. In answer to now, do I have to run a search every day when I'm looking for a specific property, or as those properties are listed, do they automatically notify me? If you set it up and it's you could set it up to and assign it to yourself with an auto search, and it will alert you every time you a property that is listed meets the criteria of that search. Or you could utilize a hot sheet. A hot sheet, as I said, keeps you up to date as to what's happening in the market as from the last time that you checked it. And to do that, you would go into, if you're in Paragon Professional, you would go into your searches and you would be looking for a specialty search, which is right here. You've got mapping or hot sheet. You're going to click on hot sheet and it brings up this search criteria. It automatically puts a check in the box run from the last run date. But if you're setting this up for the first time, you might want to begin with a begin date. And so I'm going to just say, okay, I'm going to begin this as of March 1st. And, or maybe what I'd want to do is not use the date, but just say, you know what, I want to run this within 7 days back, just from what it is. And then I'm going to click what type of hot sheet. I want the new, the price changes, and miscellaneous changes, and then the status of that. If I'm trying to keep track of what's happening around a listing that I have in a particular neighborhood, I'm going to want all of these things. So I'm going to check it back on market, status to sold, status to pending. Maybe I want expired or canceled. Maybe I'm going to do some door knocking if those didn't get relisted. Status to new. So when it changes from coming soon and into new status, I'm going to catch it. Then I can go ahead and I can put in some more additional information. This one right now is it's showing me I've got 2,700 results. So I want to fine tune that a little bit. So I'm going to put in, I just am looking for residential for this one. I want my subtype. Again, I just want single family for this particular one. And maybe go ahead and put in a state, or not a state, a city. And now I've got too many, those 442. So I could fine tune this even to a zip code. There's 37. Okay. So I can set that where it is, and then I can search, and then I would see the results. Okay. Or I could go back to my criteria here and set up a save as, name my hot sheet. And then click save. And then anytime I wanted to run that, I would just go back to search, hot sheet. And then in this case, I don't want to reset it up. I just want to load it. So I am looking for my load, my saved search, and it will bring up all of my hot sheets. And then I can find the one I'm looking for, click on it. And this time I would want to run it. Let's say I ran this first thing this morning when I came into the office and I looked at it this morning, and then I had a few appointments. And now let's just say it's around lunchtime and I want to run it one more time. Instead of the 7 days back, I'd run it from the last date I ran it, and it will tell me I've got one property in there that I hadn't seen. Okay. Now in Paragon Connect, it's going to look a little bit different, but I can save it the same way. I can set up my dashboard to show my hot sheets to me here if I want to. And you'll see that I already have 3 and they have alerts assigned to them, meaning I set it up so that it would alert me when there's a change. So how do I do that? I'm glad you asked. We go to search properties and we go to hot sheet right here. It brings up my search form, and I would go ahead and set those up however you wanted to. And I've got 29. I could search that, but I'm wanting to save this. So I'm going to save. I'm going to name it. And it brings up a check box here, hot sheet alert. If you hover on the little eye for info and click on it, it explains to you what a hot sheet is and what the benefits are, how to, and all of those things for you. But I'm going to click that hot sheet alert and click save. And now anytime I go into my hot sheets, it's going to show me that I have an alert when I'm looking at my dashboard. And I just refreshed that so it would show the latest one. And I could either choose to look at the updates or choose to look at all of the ones that meet that criteria. And since I'm just wanting to see the updates, I would click on that number and it will show me. If I don't like this view, I just go up to I call this the little comb, but it's the view. And you can customize. Do you want to see these on a map or do you want to see them in a spreadsheet? So that is your hot sheets. 3 top hot sheets that you could have. You could have the areas that you specialize in. And if you're not sure if you're going to, if you're newer and you don't know where that's going to be, well, there's one place that you should all be specialists in, and that's the neighborhood that you live in, right? So you could set one up for your neighborhood that you can keep an eye on just to get to know how hot sheets work. So that would be one. Your active buyers, or maybe where your listings and or a competition is, so you can keep tabs on that. That would be another great one to have as a hot sheet. Okay, so we have covered a lot of information. And we're coming up on 11 o'clock, so I want to be respectful of your time. I am going to open it up for questions. Again, thank you for being here today. I also want to remind you, I did record this. You'll get a copy of the recording. Plus, I've got some step-by-step handouts that I will email you as well, or a link to it because they're pretty large. So it'll be a link for that. And I'm going to open it up to questions.
Tracy, Donna again. Just curious. I'm not sure if you can hear me there you go. That's probably better. Can you share hot sheets with clients? Like, let's say, for example, they're not quite ready to put their house on the market, but you kind of gave them a bit of information about what's activity in their neighborhood, and now you want to update them as they're getting closer to listing. Can you share
hot sheet is going to be for you,
okay,
the user. Okay. If I want to share it with a client, I would set that up as a safe search utilizing the Collab Center with your client and set it up that way.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions? You can put it in the chat and I'll keep an eye on that, or you can just unmute and shout it right out.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
So I'm not on Connect, and I like the hot sheet because I've got about 4 people that I'm working with, and a lot have just what they're looking for.
Sure.
So when I look at it, I didn't see where you can put in, they want 3 bedrooms, they want 2 garages, or those specifications. I just have date range, and I can't type anything in And
But
then
think of it this way. Your hot sheet is going to be the broader picture. Okay. The save search, if you want to get down to the nitty gritty, might be the better way to do it, is to set up a save search with that criteria. That's going to allow you to set up those fine tunes.
okay, so this thing just basically had price range. And if you want, new price, price change, all that kind of stuff. So it's just those really, what's ever right in that picture is all of what I can do.
Let me just double check that. Let's see. All right. So I'm in here. You've got your criteria. Here's what you have. I do see a customization up here. So we could click on that. And I
Yeah,
am
see,
not
I'm not in that one. I'm in the other one. I don't have
you're in
it.
Paragon Professional.
Uh-huh.
Same thing.
I didn't
Hot
see.
sheet. All right. So let's see. There is not a customization in here. So you're going to be setting up very overview
And
things for
see,
hot sheets.
okay.
So for what I would do if I were you, Margaret, is I would set it up as a safe search. And that way you can set up your fine tunes,
Okay.
those fine tuned details for your clients, and then run your safe search. And if you name it to that person and give it, make sure you're not naming it another search, you can easily, all you have to do is go into your searches, go
Mhm,
into that specialty piece right over here in the end where it says
mhm.
safe search, saved property searches, and then you can find it in here and you can, let's say
Just
you named, yeah, like Debbie's little search. I just started typing in the name because I knew I had one there. And then I could click on that and then I can run it.
okay. Because I've just been going into new, and that gets kind of old because it gets you get Lincoln
Yeah.
and everybody is like, okay,
Yeah. Well, you could set your hot sheet up to be new and then put in the town that you want or
okay,
the zip code that you want, or, just you can fine tune it that way, but it's not going to let you fine tune it like you do a search.
okay,
Okay.
all right.
All right. Anybody else? All right.
Hey, can I ask a
Yeah.
question? Sorry, this
Yes.
is JR. I guess I'm a little confused. What really is the huge difference between a search and a hot sheet?
A
Like
hot
what
sheet
is
is going to keep you up to date on the things that are happening from the last time you checked it. So I would, if you're using Paragon Connect, one of the things that we heard about a lot was you lost the market monitor. In Paragon Connect, or Paragon Professional, you have your market monitor here and you can customize that to a certain extent. By clicking on that little gear, it'll allow you to customize just a little bit. Okay. So we run that. But when you're in your Paragon Connect, there's no market monitor. So you could set up you could set up a hot sheet for that market monitor simply by search properties, hot sheet. You get in here, how many, how do you want to run it? I would use days back. So that way I can look at 7 days, 10 days, 2 days, the day before if I want to. And then I would check my new and my status to new to catch those new ones that are coming in. Okay. You can even set it up if you wanted to just keep track of, maybe you want to keep track of the new listings for your office. So you would set that up here, your new status to new, and then open up this criteria here. And you can put in here listing office. Type in your office. I'm just going to grab one here let's get out of appraisals. I'll just start. Just grab one and set that up. And when you click on save and you name it, my office new listings, and then you can set an alert on there and it will show you whenever there's been a change and then you can go look at it.
Is there a way to do that under my account? Because I assume the identity for my agents that I work for, and everything falls under them for like searches, or if I were to do a hot sheet, obviously that's to go under their Paragon Connect, not mine, because under mine, I see nothing. Like I can't see searches.
Because you're working on behalf of an agent. And so you have to assume their identity to do anything into the MLS for that agent. So you would have to set that up under each one of your agents that you're working with.
And I know there's one other person in here that does the same thing, that they are working on behalf of agents. Is there ever, obviously this isn't something for today, a feature or ability for us to be able to use the app? Because right now we can't.
Yep.
Because yeah,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah. You can run it on you correct me if I'm wrong. I believe you can use Paragon Connect on your computer. You just aren't going to have access to it through the app on like your phone. You're not the first person to say something about that within our MLS or even out of other MLSs. So I know that Paragon knows about it. I just don't know where they are in the process, if it's something that they're thinking of doing or figuring out a way to do it. I don't have an answer for that. But yeah, we are aware of it, I guess is what I'm saying.
No, you're totally fine. Thank you so much
You're
for,
welcome. You bet.
handling that.
Yeah, you bet.